Hi BookTube, I'm here with video 4 for Vlogmas, and today I'm going to be talking about Shakespeare, but specifically my 3 favorite scenes from Shakespeare. They're in no particular order, they're just what I have chosen. We're going to start off on kind of a sentimental scene, and this is from Hamlet. It's when Ophelia is giving flowers to the other characters. She's gone mad after the death of her brother, and she comes out singing and handing out flowers to people. What really gets me here is kind of like the symbolism, some of which is explicitly stated and some of which is implicitly there. So first of all, she gives out rosemary. This is a symbol of marriage and remembrance. She looks for Hamlet to give it to him and realizes he's not there. That's when she pulls out pansy, which is a symbol for grief, for melancholy, for thoughtfulness, and she uses that towards herself. You know, it's more fitting for her current situation. Then she gives Claudius, the usurping king, fennel and columbine. Now fennel is representative of deceit and columbine is representative of ingratitude, and she gives us the Claudius. Then to the queen she gives her rue, which is a symbol of bitterness and repentance. So I think I chose this scene because it really kind of manages to show that she's able to give them the right flower for their situation despite her madness. And I think that adds another layer to the question of the whole play about what is madness? How far does it go? Can you find truth in madness? Can you find method in madness? So I think that's really kind of interesting to see that despite her state and what she's in, what she's experienced, she's still able to determine the character of the characters. My second favorite scene takes it in a completely different route, and it's from Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 4, the nurse penning around with Mercutio and Romeo. Let me tell you something, the nurse is kind of pushed off to the side. I found that when I was kind of discussing that in schools, and every time I've studied this novel, which was quite a lot, play, which was quite a lot, but she's actually, quite a snarky, intelligent, and vulgar character. This whole scene is just her and Mercutio kind of batting back and forth sexual innuendos and puns back and forth between each other, and Romeo's is trying to get to the point of trying to impress the nurse. So the specific part of that scene that I really like is when the nurse kind of says at one point she wants to sleep with Romeo and 20 more like him, but she's like, oh well, I'll let someone else have him, and that someone else is obviously Juliet, right? And they're bantering back and forth a little bit, and she says this: "Ah, mocker, that's the dog's name. R is for the... No, I know, it begins with some other letter, and she hath the prettiest sentience of it." I'm gonna stop there. It goes on, but anyways, I had this explained to me by a professor who summarized it as saying, basically, the nurse is telling Romeo that Juliet has a pretty sexual organ, because another name for dog that begins with R would be runt, but it begins with another letter, which would be a word that I don't feel appropriate saying. Ta-da! The vulgarness of Shakespeare comes through in the nurse. This is fascinating to me. And the third scene I'd like to talk about kind of takes it into a whole other direction here. I love how Shakespeare's, he's so versatile. So that's why I chose this next scene as well. It's another scene that really sticks out to me. It's from the play Titus Andronicus, which for the longest time people didn't believe Shakespeare had written, but they did their analysis and they figured out that he did, but there's some people who still believe that he maybe have co-written it with a character named George Peele. Anyways, Titus Andronicus is one of the lesser known plays, so I'm going to tell you quickly. It's about a Roman general who is trapped in this cycle of revenge with the queen of the Goths. Yes, and I'm just going to read this little fact here about the play. Okay. There's 14 killings, 9 of them are on stage, 6 severed members, 1 rape, or 2 or 3 depending on how you count, 1 live burial, 1 case of insanity, and 1 of cannibalism. An average of 5.2 atrocities per act, or 1 for every 97 lines. I am one of those people who is entertained by violence. Fictional violence, not factual violence. But fictional violence, I do find it entertaining. And in Titus Andronicus, the most violent of Shakespeare's plays, there's one scene in particular that stands out. So, near the end of the play, Titus Andronicus is kind of wants to settle things between him and the queen, or that's the way it seems. So he invites her over for supper, and he cooks her this wonderful meat pie, and she eats it all up, and after she's done eating, he looks at her and says, "I just fed you your sons." He had killed her sons, butchered them, cooked them, baked them into a pie, and fed them to their mother. And that scene is just like, this is like the 1500s, and we're just like, Shakespeare, like, whoa, this is like horrible kind of stuff. But it's something that we laugh at now. There's some scenes in there that you can't laugh at, that are absolutely horrendous and horrible, but that scene, accidental cannibalism, can always be funny, right? Please affirm my statement there. Anyways, so that's my 3 favorite scenes from Shakespeare. Let me know down below what your favorite scene is, and thank you for watching.